Now to some fantastic news, some really good news. A new sexuality has been unlocked. Petrosexual. Yes, that's right. Petrosexual has entered the chat, Brad. Look, does this have something to do with petrol, with gas? Please enlighten us.
Yeah, so woke academia in America is out of control and always coming up with absurd ideas. And the latest idea is petrosexuality. Apparently, it's a sexual orientation where you're really into oil and gas, but it's also problematic because you're contributing to capitalism and climate change. So this is it was actually a peer-reviewed article published in a Duke University affiliated journal writing about this, and it actually included photos. Yes, photos, staged photos of petrosexuals engaged in various conduct involving oil, gas, and even some adult objects, I'll say. So it's always good to see what American higher ed is up to, especially since so much of it is funded with our tax dollars.
I always wondered, Brad, with the LGBTQ plus, what the plus stood for. Now we know it's petrosexuals. I want to talk to you about the feud between Donald Trump and Bruce Springsteen, because it seems to be widening. It all began when Bruce Springsteen said this about Donald Trump.
A majority of our elected representatives have failed to protect the American people from the abuses of an unfit president and a rogue government.
And now a New Jersey restaurant has cancelled a performance by a Bruce Springsteen cover band, saying it was too risky to go ahead with the show given its conservative customer base. Brad, really, this is where we've got to. A cover band for Bruce Springsteen can't perform unless the Conservatives get all upset.
What did the cover band do? That's what I want to know, right? They just play his music and have a good time, and they're getting their gigs canceled because he goes off on some anti-Trump rant at one of his shows. That's the silly part to me about this. Listen, I live in a part of America where there are a lot of Trump voters out here in Michigan, and they're not snowflakes. They're not going to freak out because you have a cover band of a singer who criticized Trump. Actually, if we're being honest, that's most singers in America have at one point and another bashed Trump. People are pretty good about just setting that aside and having a good time. So I thought this was ridiculous. Obviously, I roll my eyes when these celebrities pop off on Trump and go on their little high horse because they usually have no idea what they're talking about and usually have extreme double standards. And I wish they'd just stick to being entertainers. But then it's very, to me, silly cancel culture type stuff to be canceling a cover band over what the singer said. I don't buy for a second that it would have caused some meltdown among MAGA people in this New Jersey town because MAGA people typically are not snowflakes. So I think this was massive overkill, to say the very least.
Absolutely. Brad, we're almost out of time, but just want to ask you, do you think that Jill Biden could be investigated, of course, after Joe Biden's cancer diagnosis?
Well, look, the whole thing should be investigated. It was a massive cover-up or a medical scandal of the highest order because the president was sick for years. Now, we knew he was in severe cognitive decline. Now we know he had cancer. And how was that not caught? Or if it was caught, how was it kept from the American people this whole time? That should be investigated at every level.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Brad Polumbo, many thanks as always. Good to catch up. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.